Hi everyone, welcome. This is the holiday seasons here in Lebanon, New Hampshire. I'm Greg Lewis, City Manager in Lebanon. Welcome to Lebanon In Depth. I'm really excited about what we're going to be doing here. Here we are entering December, and we're going to take the time in our show and with the next show coming up to explore and understand. We just have some great community organizations in our region. They're doing the kind of work that I think all of us really appreciate. And here we are in the holiday season. It's a time for giving. It's time to recognize what we have, but it's a time to recognize our fellow residents of our region. That there are people that have needs for basic necessities. All of us, can feel very vulnerable in in a time where we have economic uncertainty at different levels, and it's kind of uneven. Sometimes there's some economic activities going quite well, some is not going so well. There's certainly a lot of political discord, and we see it at different levels of government. This is the time to really get down to the heart of things, is what we can do as persons living in our community to make it a sustainable community by sustaining others. Let's step up to the plate. Let's do what we need to do to assist and care for our fellow residents and our neighbors and our friends and our relatives. And the first guest I have today is our great program. We have Listen. And with me, I have the director of Listen, the executive director. I have Merilynn Bourne. Merilynn, first of all, I always ask when people join our program, after I thank them for coming here, and we are imbibing non-alcoholic, I say that again,
yes.
The city manager. Wonderful eggnog. We both are fans of eggnog.
Yes.
We discovered that.
Yes.
We also are cookie eaters, and we have our Christmas sugar cookies baked courtesy of our local grocery store. I have eaten all my cookies because I cannot resist them. But I guess as we enjoy ourselves, we know there's others. And how did you get in the business where you end up heading the listening program here?
Well, my background has been retail for years. I've been a private retail owner. I was a co-owner of a dive shop in the Caribbean at one point in time, but sports equipment as well, and then worked for corporate retail. And it became tedious. Retail at that level, especially when you're doing regional management, means you're spending an awful lot of time away from home. And I had 4 children. Most of them were grown, but I had one still at home, and I said, it's time for a change. I really need to get out of the day-to-day of retail management. I want to change my career completely. Well, 3 different times around a month's period, I was having a conversation with 3 different individuals. And each time I had that conversation, the person I was speaking to said, oh, you should call Listen Community Services. They're looking for a retail manager. And I said, well, I think I'm overqualified for managing a thrift store. Mm-hmm. But the 3rd time I was told this was standing in a line in a grocery store talking to a neighbor about what I was looking to do in changing my career. And a total stranger tapped me on the shoulder and said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be eavesdropping, but you need to call Listen. So I thought, okay, someone's trying to get a message to me and I need to call Listen. So I did. And to make a long story short, they hired me as their retail director because Listen had at the time 3 thrift stores. And the board of directors at the time realized that those stores were underperforming, but it would take someone who had retail background to know how to bring those up to the level of performance that could be expected from a store that size. And the important thing about that is that about 80% of the revenues needed to run Listen as an agency to provide the services that we provide come from those stores. So to have an opportunity to sort of change my life a little bit and do something for the community, because now when you shop in the store, your dollars really do stay local. If you shop at the big box stores, we all know your dollars, they're not local.
Yes, right.
So I'm supporting a local agency providing important crisis services, and I'm also helping to provide jobs to people who need training desperately. So we talked about it for 2 days, and they made me an offer, and I accepted it, and never expected that 16 years later I would be the executive director of the agency. It's been a real gift, and it's a job that I can probably say I've done with the most pride in my entire life. It's the work I'm the most proud of, because as you pointed out, it's my opportunity to take my skills and give back to the community by helping out folks who are going through difficult times.
That's terrific. You know, I had an opportunity to come and visit you this last summer and learn more about listening. As a city manager, you know, this is such an important feature of our community to have Listen present. And I'm glad you're here to tell us a little bit about what Listen is.
Right, what we do.
Because I just couldn't believe all the things you're doing. So I think it's a good opportunity for all of us to learn more about Listen.
Yeah, I think most people are aware of the thrift stores because they are very supportive of them. They drop off really great usable donations, and then they shop. So we call it drop and shop. Take advantage of those good buy opportunities that happen in the stores. What they don't realize is what we do with those revenues. Yes, we pay the people who are working in the stores and the crisis providers upstairs, myself. The stores fund all of that. But they also fund programs like summer camp. We have summer camp scholarships. No, we do not own a camp, but we do send children away to camp who would not otherwise have that opportunity. So this year we sent almost 300 kids from the Upper Valley to great summer camp. It's wonderful.
So great.
And anyone who knows about summer camp or has a child that they've been fortunate enough to be able to send to camp understands the benefits that camp provides. It's a great opportunity for a child to grow within themselves, to learn self-confidence, to get better self-esteem, to learn conflict resolution. Use your words, not your hands. Camp is a great spot for that. So there's summer camp. We do fuel assistance. Some people miss the federal guidelines by $100 in a year. So to miss that assistance because you make $100 more.
So you just made a little too much.
You make just a little too much.
And you're out.
Yet we know that given the cost of fuel, given the cost of housing in the Upper Valley, given the cost of driving back and forth to work because we're a rural community, we know that $100 is eaten up in no time at all, and you do need assistance. So because we don't take federal funds, it's funds that we raise and it's funds that people donate to us, we can help you. So we send people that we know can receive federal assistance to Tri-County CAP, and they will get that assistance there. And if they still need a little bit more, they can come to us and we'll help. So what we do with the fuel is 100 to 150 gallons of fuel in a year. We can't buy your fuel for the entire year, but we can certainly help you make it through the cold winters. We also pay electric bills when there is a threat of disconnect, and especially when there are children in the home. You don't want to think about a child being in a house where there's no hot water or no heat. We also help people stay current with their rent so that they are not going to become homeless. Because anyone from the Haven can tell you that once a family is homeless, the cost of helping that family quadruples. So it's always far better emotionally and financially to help a family stay housed. So we have housing helper loans that we make, and they are loans. We don't require that we don't come after you if you're not able to pay it back. But we try to get people to do maybe $5, $10 a week till they paid it back, no interest. But this way it becomes a revolving loan fund, and others who need the same assistance can receive it because we have the funds available. We have community dinners 5 nights a week.
5 nights?
5 nights a week. Two dinners on Monday, one in Canaan and one in Hartford here at St. Paul's. But then we use Sacred Heart Church. We use the Methodist Church on School Street in Lebanon. And yeah, those would be the locations. So that's 5 nights a week, 6 meals, 5 nights a week. We have a food pantry, and we probably had 900 visits, over 900 households, I guess, visits in the last year. Community dinners, by the way, served 16,000 plus. I think it was 16,500 meals last year.
Very significant.
Yeah, it grows constantly. Well, if you thought about the oil that we purchase, I think that's important for people to know too. We probably purchased close to 30,000 gallons of fuel oil for houses in the Upper Valley last year. The fuel program alone I think we spent $150,000.
That is really great. Now, how does Listen receive its funding? I mean, how does all these great activities fund it?
Well, that's where the stores play a significant role. So I think most people know that we have the thrift stores. We have one in Canaan. We have the original thrift store in downtown Lebanon, and then we have 2 stores here in White River. One is temporarily closed due to construction at that site. We can talk about that in a minute. But those stores generate over $1,500,000. I think it was $1,560,000. So that's gross. There's a cost associated with that. Wage comes out of that. But because the stores do that, it covers all the expenses. It's wage, it's facilities maintenance, it's heat, electricity, insurance. All of that is covered by the revenues from the thrift stores. And once all of those regular operating expenses are covered, there's another $200,000 easily that goes directly into program support, pays for summer camp, pays for the Junction,
Great.
our Teen Life Skills Center. And then we do an annual appeal once a year, only once,
Only
because
one,
we have the
one time.
stores. Right.
Well, good. So, I mean, if I was going to try to be helpful to Listen and all the good works that Listen engages in, I should come shop at your stores, right?
Absolutely. That is probably the #1 way to support the agency. You don't have to necessarily make a donation, although those help, cash donations. But every time you drop off a jacket that still has 5 years worth of, the jacket that I'm wearing right now, by the way, $5. I bought it at Listen. I cannot tell you how many comments I've received on this jacket. And that money goes into the program.
That is wonderful.
Right?
Now, if you wanted to drop off a jacket, say, where would you drop it off? Is it
At
drop-off
any one of the
points?
stores. Any one of the stores. We are open from 9 to 5 every day except Sunday. Sunday we're open noon to 5.
You take it into the store?
Yep. You go in. There's usually a door where donations go through.
Okay.
So you come to the donation door, and I think in Canaan you can actually bring it in the main door, the front door, and then the staff will take it into the back room. So you bring your donation, you drop it off. We appreciate it. We can give you a receipt that you can save for tax purposes if you'd like. And then you go through the store to see, if I took this jacket and donated it, perhaps there's another jacket that I can buy and take home. Right.
Now, I know you have exciting plans in the future. We have a
Yes.
couple minutes left in our segment. Let's talk about the exciting plans that are ahead of us for Listen.
It's very exciting. We own a piece of property here in White River at River Point Plaza, right where the temporary bridge is in right now.
Oh yeah,
waiting
you come across that bridge.
You come
it's
across
kinda
that bridge. You now you can see there's all kinds of large equipment and there's earth being moved. Well, we're building a new building that will house 3 important elements for the agency, because thrift store revenues are so important to our ability to provide expanded services, because the need is always growing, especially as municipal and state government or federal government do this downshift because of we do have to balance our budgets after all.
Right.
So our service needs will grow. So we will have a 4,000 square foot thrift store at that location.
And what will happen there as we get toward our end here? What will be taking place in the new store?
Oh, well, we'll have more space, more light, more room to sell more merchandise to make more revenues. And right next to that will be where the revenues will go. Our Teen Life Skills Center will now have a permanent home in that building. At the moment, we're renting space, but that costs us $14,000 a year. We'd rather put that in programs. And then the very southern end of the building, our community dinner program that's been around for 28 years is going to have its own permanent home, a kitchen and dining room. And we can run programs out of that.
So you're going to be quite a diverse center. You're
Absolutely.
going to have a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely.
For all segments of our area.
Absolutely.
Everyone here, there's a piece of this that we all can get engaged in, whether we are in need or whether we have enough to give to others.
Right. You might have talents or skill sets that you can donate to.
We can add skills. So here's things we can do. Obviously, we can go shop at Listen.
Yes.
Or we can bring clothing and donate to Listen.
Yes.
If we have money extra, we have opportunity to donate money to it, or we can donate ourselves.
Yes.
Our service.
And we love that. We love those connections. And we have a website, and so real quick, it's listencs.org. And you can visit that website, see our latest newsletter, and see what we do on a regular basis.
And we'll make sure that's up on our website.
Wonderful, thank you.
So here's the Listen.
Well, here's to you, Greg.
And Merry happy season.
Festivus
happy
for the rest of
holidays,
us, yes.
and the best to you, and thanks to
Yeah.
you and everyone that works there, and that are contributing so much.
It's our joy.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's the way to be.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we really enjoyed that part, and it's a great time of the year, and we have some really wonderful things happening in Lebanon.